All right, welcome back. Sports Show YouTube. We're going to be checking out one of the best sports shows of all time, NFL Primetime December 3rd, 2000, Week 14 in the NFL season. God, I miss me some NFL Primetime. It's still on. Still on ESPN Plus, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. But it's going to be with Tom Jackson and Chris Berman, the music, and the whoop, whoop, a whoop. Good stuff right here. So we're going to be doing some comments throughout the video, probably pausing and talking about a lot of the old school players and teams and situations going on at this point. But let's run this NFL Primetime, December 3rd, 2000. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Let's go.
It's Week 14 of NFL Primetime. Tick, tick, tick to the final seconds. The Eagles-Titans tilt. Al Del Greco on center stage again. Could New York beat Giants on Capitol Hill, or by George, would the Skins mount a comeback? Warning, the greatest show on earth is back on tour. Maybe not. The silver and black barrel into the new steel curtain. Who will step up in a tight AFC East race? Can Tampa defeat Dallas for the first time ever? And 200 yards rushing, not a problem. NFL Primetime, next.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Oh, if they only knew. Welcome to NFL Primetime for week number 14, the first Sunday in December. Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson. And Tom, on a weekend when we had 6 games of teams playing head-to-head of 2 over 500 or better, we thought maybe this would be a tighten-up. Actually, there's quite a separation for this far to the playoffs.
I think we start now to be able to decipher what we're going to see going into the end of December and into January.
It was surprising, actually, the way some of this, especially in the AFC, starting to really separate. But we get to go through it one at a time, as you do at home. One thing the Tampa Bay Bucs have never done, well, there's actually 3 things. They've never won in a game below 40 degrees. We know that. They'll have their chance at Lambeau. They've never returned a kickoff for a touchdown. They've never, in 8 tries, beat the Dallas Cowboys. This would be a good opportunity for them at the new sombrero.
Wow, that's nuts. That's crazy. So at this point in time in 2000, the Tampa Bay Bucs never beat the Dallas Cowboys. Look at Tony Dungy, a young Tony Dungy right there. I think they had Brad Johnson at quarterback. At this point, find out here in a second.
The Bucs and Tony Dungy playing a Cowboy team that they had a chance to really sit on defensively and perhaps run on offensively. Perhaps, while up 3-0 in the first quarter, it's Warwick Gunn swimming upfield, and look at him go. 70 yards, he could go all the way. Touchdown, 10-0 Tampa Bay early.
Yeah, you take a look at the blocking. Tight end Dave Moore and the tackle Pete Pearson going to do a great job of seal blocking. You see him head off tackle. Warren Dunn does a nice job of spotting the cutback lane to the inside, and he is off to the races downfield.
You can say it, a seal here.
And a seal here.
Meanwhile, Cowboys special teams coach Joe Avizano been there through all the great years. Watching this headache, Wayne McGarrett, he looks like Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid at the fumble. And he falls under the 2-yard line. So 3 plays later, Dallas still in trouble, down 10-0 in the shadow of their own goalpost. And Troy Aikman to Chris Warren off his hands and into the hands of Brian Kelly. Touchdown. Just like that, defense scores 17-0 Tampa Bay, flag on Dallas. It's 20-7 in the fourth quarter. Dallas actually hanging around, and it's McGarrity that tries to get something going. He pulls this one in for a 22-yard gain all the way down to the 11. On the next play, Emmitt Smith is whacked, fumbled, and Brian Kelly is there again. And he makes the recovery for that Tampa defense. Key turnover, obviously. Suing possession for Tampa Bay. Sean King to Keyshawn. Well, maybe don't throw me this damn ball.
That's who it is. Sean King out of Tulane, if I'm not mistaken. That's who the quarterback for Tampa Bay. See Warwick Gunn out of Florida State. A whoop, whoop, whoop.
He lands on his head. It looked very scary, obviously. Keyshawn's tough.
But he was all right.
Stays in the game. So is this little 5'8" Warwick Gunn. Is he tough? Is he quick? And Tommy, he's a workhorse. 34 yards. And then watch him sweep left into the end zone to make it 27-7.
He proves he can run inside, outside, and I think he's proven to Coach Dungy, I can handle the load no matter what it is.
This will be a recurring theme. 210 yards for Warwick Dunn on just 22 carries.
Damn, work done. Busted the Cowboys. 210 rushing yards. That's incredible stuff. Keyshawn, 4 catches, 28 yards. Tampa Bay, 27-7 over the Dallas Cowboys. This obviously started the decline of the Dallas Cowboys probably a few years before this, for Duck, and completely honest. Still had Troy Aikman, still had Emmitt Smith. I think Emmitt Smith would go on to play for the Cardinals, I think, to finish out his career. Work done. I believe would go to the, Atlanta Falcons for a couple of years when they had T.J. Duckett, him, and Michael Vick in the same backfield.
Tampa Bay has now won 2 important games in a row as they go into Miami. If the playoffs were to start right this minute, they would get in, although no...
Look at that. They only threw the ball 15 times, but Sean King and still blew them up by 20 points.
Passing yards, but the defense scored.
Well, 66 yards passing last week, 65 this week, but as long as they don't make mistakes, defense, special teams, run the football, it's a winning combination for Coach Dungy and the Bucs.
So the Tampa Bay Bucs are at 8-5. When we return, big, huge game in Washington between the G-Men and the Skins and the AFC East. All 4 contenders head-to-head. Log on to ESPN. Seahawks at the Falcons. And Doug Johnson is the new starter. Sling Johnson, rookie free agent from Florida, his first NFL start, and his second pass picked up by George Kuntz. Gone. 27-yard touchdown. Seahawks defense, who scored twice last week against Denver, up 14-0.
We have a rule with linebackers, something in front of you, something behind you. Watch George Kuntz. He's spot shadowed right here. They'll run a little curl right in front of him. The tight end comes off the line. He passes it on, looks behind him, knows the curl coming behind him, does a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes, making a nice pick.
Second quarter, 17-3 Seahawks, and Ricky running Waters into the end zone, 24-3 Seattle on the road.
Damn, Ricky Waters, remember his years in San Francisco are really his primetime years. I know he was on Seattle for a couple years. I don't know who the quarterback is at this point in time for Seattle.
Johnson in the third quarter, pass to Sean Jefferson. It's broken up by Reggie Tongue and Cortez Kennedy. Look at the big fella lumber, 14 yards, rumbling, bumbling. 2 fumbles lost, 2 picks against Johnson. And then Ricky running Waters. Congratulations to him. He becomes the 13th player in NFL history to get to 10,000 yards. He got 79 on the day, and Seattle sends Atlanta spinning after a pretty good start to another defeat. Seattle wins it 30-10. Chris Chandler in the papers critical of coaching.
Holy shit, it was John Kitna. God, John Kitna played a lot of years then, didn't he? John Kitna out there. Played for the Lions, too. John Kitna was the quarterback. Derek Mays, I think he came out of Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. Doug Jackson. Holy shit.
And the unimaginative offense demoted to third team. Tom, I think Wes Chandler and Gene Ducabril Chandler will be playing quarterback for the Falcons before Chris Chandler does.
When we read Chris Chandler's comments early in the week, I knew that there would be some sort of repercussion. The repercussion is you holding a clipboard.
You have experience, Dan Reeves, here in those.
I have experience.
Not from you.
No, it didn't happen to me.
But you called it, and you should be the Swami the way I'm going. Cardinals and the Bengals, the 2 franchises that have lost the most in the 90s, teed up here in 2000. Bad field didn't bother Corey Dillon. Look at him go. 57 yards down to the 1-foot line. Later, a Tony McGee touchdown, 7-0 Bengals. And Corey Dillon, we saw him with his monster game earlier this year, 278 against Denver. Here he goes with 134 in the first half.
Yeah, and a really great runner inside the red zone as you get down to short yardage and goal line situations.
Corey Dillon would go on for the Patriots. Had some really good years for the Patriots. They got Scott Mitchell at quarterback. What? Scott Mitchell and the Bengals. I seen him out there.
Nice cut there. Good vision. Just enough to step into the end zone and get the score.
Now, this play, when you're hot, you're hot. Even when you fumble it, and it looks like the other team recovers it, it's ruled out of bounds and you keep the ball. With that carry, one of your favorites, James Brooks, has a single-season record for the Bengals, and so Corey Dillon has broken that mark. Even though Arizona made a game of it for a while, naturally they missed the extra point. Jake Plummer to David, please come to Boston, 21-13. Tom Carter picks it off for Cincinnati. Corey Dillon, not once, but twice, has rushed for 200 yards this year. So with 216 today, that's the second 200-yard day that we have shown.
Damn, look at that. David Boston. That's David Boston, right? 9 catches, 184. The monster from Ohio State got into that big scrap, that famous fight with Charles Woodson. Peter Warrick right there out of Florida State. 3 catches, 42 yards. Not showing the numbers here for Scott Mitchell yet. And Jake Plummer, the quarterback for the Cardinals. Damn, I remember Jake Plummer. Went to Arizona State. played Ohio State, too, and I think in the Rose Bowl they came down to the last second and they ended up losing. But, man, we got a Jake Plummer side. He played for the Broncos, too, and I think just kind of retired.
Showing you. Warwick Dunn, Corey Dillon. Man, oh, man, you wonder what he'd be like on a team that's always winning games as he runs out the clock.
Well, and such a bright spot for the Cincinnati Bengals this year. Maybe their only bright spot. Certainly, I think they have to figure out a way to keep Corey Dillon on this football team.
And it's interesting that he, as it goes to December, and the team obviously going nowhere, remains very interested and can pile up another 200-yard game. When we return, did we say 200 yards? Well, Denver has that in store. And the Rams, Panthers, Kurt Warner's back, so certainly things would improve, right? The St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on earth, with a 6-0 start this year behind that man, Kurt Warner. He's back after Trent Green went 2-3. They're at Carolina, a team that beat him already once this year. Warner to Torrey Holt, but he drops. Leads to a Rams punt. 3-0 Rams second quarter. Warner airing it out to Ricky Prohl, Shampooey. He tips it. And Jimmy Hitchcock, the pass is for the Birds. Intercepted. Next Ram possession. Warner to Torrey Holt. Eric Davis. Boom! Holt fumbles. Picked up by
Eric Davis. Tough corner, man. Played for the 49ers for a lot of years. Involved in a lot of those big matchups against the Dallas Cowboys.
Eugene Robinson from
Hartford, Connecticut.
And Carolina's in business. Rams defense forces a punt, but hey, Hakeem, he fumbles it. And my goodness, the Panthers have it, but the Rams defense, listen to me, the Rams defense holds. Under a minute to play in the half, 3-0. Eric Davis strips Hakeem of the ball. 4 Ram turnovers in the first half. It's just 3-0 St. Louis. But Mike Martz says, you know, we can score a lot of points, so no problem.
Mike Martz, oh my God, Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator, genius. Was a coordinator for the Lions for a couple years. Got choked by his own player. I think it was Kyle Turley. Remember him, the big offensive lineman? Literally, I think told Mike Martz he was going to kill his ass. Mike Martz was a cocky little genius out there. Man, that is a name I have not heard in a long time. So Mike Martz looks like Mrs. Doubtfire. Remember that movie of Robin Williams?
Here we go. First possession, second half. Warner picked off by Jimmy Hitchcock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 39 steps into the end zone. 88 yards for Hitchcock. A feature film. Panthers lead it 7-3 on Hitchcock's second pick.
Yeah, Jimmy Hitchcock, a great break on the ball. Never actually looked at the receiver, just looked at Kurt Warner's eyes, and just a dead sprint to the end zone.
So, the Rams stunned. Get Warner back on the field. And he's forced out of the pocket on the run. And Eric Davis, who played a big game, picks it up. Sets up a field goal, 10-3 Panthers. Carolina kid Dre Bly picks it up in the Tommy.
Get up the field. Get up the field. Don't run past.
Oh, no! He's tackled by Michael Bates on the 1-yard line. Next play, Warner, deep. Doug Evans has position. I think you get the point. 4 interceptions against Warner. 7 turnovers. Panthers beat the Rams 16-3. So Carolina has now swept the world champion St. Louis Rams, who we must.
Muhsin Muhammad out there, 10 catches, 95 yards. He went to Michigan State. Steve Berline, 20 of 30. Isaac Bruce, that was an incredible offensive team that the Rams had. A couple years that they had going on there with Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Kurt Warner. Obviously, out there getting shut out. That's one hell of an effort for the Carolina Panther team to shut that offense out. Good stuff right there. Eric Davis having himself a good game too, huh?
Say, Tom, and Kurt Warner after the game, was he rusty or?
Hakeem, man, he was on the Detroit Lions, I believe, for 1 or 2 years during Joey Harrington's rookie season, maybe his second season. Trey Bly out there too, ended up being a corner for the Detroit Lions. A lot of old school names were seen in this one.
Is the team just losing its role?
It's a different year, a different time, and we've got to step up and play the way we're capable of playing. And do I think we'll do it? Yeah, I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it next week. I think we'll play great. But, you know, until you go out and do it, you know, talk doesn't mean anything. And we've got to go out and do it.
We should. I mean, the Rams.
Can we finally get rid of this? Kurt Warner is as good as Trent Green thing. Can we stop it? I'm just joking.
Here's the big story.
Yeah.
If the playoffs were to start right now, I know it's hypothetical, but this is a staggering thought we never thought we'd talk about. If they were to start right now, the Rams would not be in the playoffs. Tommy, This team is 2-5 after that 6-0 start.
Well, I think the problems today were certainly twofold. Number one, Kurt Warner had been out for 5 weeks. I think that we may have been very presumptuous to think that he was going to come back and be the same Kurt Warner that we saw at the midseason point. And they have to figure out a way to run the ball, to give the offense some sort of balance, especially when your defense is not quite up to standard. Because if the other team has the ball long enough, Carolina, they're going to put points on the board.
Tommy, they play Vikings, Bucks, at Saints,
Yes.
at Bucks,
Yes.
at Sam. I mean, this is a tough finish.
Yes.
The greatest show on earth is down to the bearded lady, at least for right now. Now, here's some shows that are pretty impressive. The Saints, after a 1-3 start, 7-1. The Denver Broncos, after a 4-4 start, have won 4 circus-like games. And here we go from New Orleans. Mike Anderson has seen Terrell Davis, Landis Gary get 1,000 yards the last 2 years. Could he get 1,000? Well, not only does he get 1,000, he gets a touchdown. Now, wait a minute. This is against the Saints defense, okay? The Saints defense. This defense which crunched the Rams, who've crunched so many teams at 7-0 Broncos. Aaron Brooks, his second start in his career for the injured Jeff Blake. The bomb to Joe Little Bighorn, 49 yards. Next,
Joe Horn out there with Aaron Brooks. Wasn't Aaron Brooks the cousin of somebody? Who was Aaron Brooks' cousin? Warrior Empire, everybody know who I'm talking about. Aaron Brooks, the quarterback here, his cousin. It wasn't Michael Vick, was it? I can't remember. I want to say he had a famous cousin who played in the NFL as well. Joe Horn. Joe Horn's a good receiver. Remember Joe Horn pulled the cell phone out on like a Sunday or Monday night game? He hit it in the back of the end zone. But Aaron Brooks is a cousin to somebody. Somebody help me out in the comment section here.
play. He's a good-looking kid. He's big. He's patient. And he's got a pretty good arm, Tom. Whoa, there's Andrew Glover, tied at 7-7. Same score second quarter. 3rd and goal, Denver at the 5. Mike Anderson looking for a few good men.
You take a look at the offensive line blocking of the Denver Broncos, and we're going to focus on the center of that line first and foremost with Tom Nalen. You watch him and then watch to the left side of the screen. Watch the chop blocks that come on the backside so there's no backside pursuit. Great job of Anderson powering into the end zone.
That Denver line remains about as good as there is in the business. Meanwhile, the Saints trying to counter. Aaron Brooks, 39 yards to Glover. Sets up a field goal, 14-10 the Broncos. We have a typical Denver Wild game going, or do we? Now, Terrell Davis says, you know, young man, Mike Anderson, this is how it's done. You think he's paying attention? On his feet. Touchdown, 7 yards. 3rd touchdown for Anderson, 28-13 Denver at the half. 3rd quarter, very scary moment. Off another great job of blocking and a quick run through the hole. Anderson is hit squarely by Kevin Mathis on his left knee. He fumbles, loses ball, and he's hurt. And this looked bad. Terrell Davis looking on. Anderson helped off. But guess what? He's ready, Tommy.
He's a Marine.
He's a Marine. Anderson returns. And does he return? Boy, this really looks like he's got a bad knee. Look at him go. 35 yards. 200 yards for him in the game. On 1st and goal, he's our man. Is he ever? 4 touchdowns in a game. First Bronco to do it. 251 yards rushing. For Mike Anderson, the rookie. 6th-round pick from Utah. The 4th best performance.
251 yards and 4 touchdowns. What? Looked like Gibby. My Madden season right there. 37 carries. Wow. Look at Aaron Brooks out there. 30 of 48, 441, 2 touchdowns. Joe Horn, 10 catches, 170. Where was the defense in this game? Seen Mike Shanahan with that. What kind of, they had that, a name for it. Was it zone blocking, I think they came up with out there in very early days of the zone blocking scheme developed by Mike Shanahan out there in Denver, 38-23. They go to 9-4. I'm not sure who was the quarterback out there. Was it Gus Frerotte?
Performance ever for rushing the football. The Broncos rushed for 283. They have won 5 in a row. And can we speak of the coaching and the remember Greasy's out?
Damn, look at Gus Frerotte. 200 yards, and they had 251 on the ground as well. Whoa.
Yes.
Coaching by Shanahan and
Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach. And you look at Tom Nalen, Tony Jones, great job on Joe Johnson today. And they find the runners. They have the same running style. Mike Anderson is downhill, and he's running hard.
The Denver Broncos won what looks to be the toughest game on their schedule. They are flying. Winners of 5 in a row. And with Anderson's 251-yard game, this puts him among the biggest names in football. Now, earlier this year, of course, oddly enough, against Denver, Corey Dillon set the record for 278. That was the last game Denver lost. W. Payton, O.J. Simpson twice. There's M. Anderson. Pretty good for a rookie.
Yeah, this is before what? Jamal Lewis broke the record, and then Adrian Peterson, I think, had 296 and then 295. We did both of the games too, by the way, if you want to check that out. Jamal Lewis hitting him for 296, and like we said, I think Adrian Peterson 295. But look at the names in here: Corey Dillon, Peyton, OJ, Mike Anderson's up there. Whoa, 251 all time rushing in the game.
He's 6th-round pick, huh?
Not bad.
Not bad. He's more than a few good men. He's a real good rusher.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
When we return, Raiders and Steelers evoke the memories. Titans, Eagles in a slugfest at the vet.
Man, you gotta love the old NFL Films music, right? What was it, Sam Spence? Good stuff right there about this.
They go free!
It's cut out of the air. The ball is pulled in by Franco Harris.
The Raiders and the Steelers. Now that's football. 5 straight years in the 70s they met in the playoffs. 3 times in the AFC Championship game. And if you go from 1974 to 1983, that 10-year span, of the 10 Super Bowls played, 7 were won by either the Steelers or the Raiders. It had been 20 years since the Raiders had come to Three Rivers Stadium, since 1980, a Super Bowl year for Oakland. And since this is the last time around for Three Rivers Stadium, Raiders at Steelers, 1 for the road. Three Rivers Stadium at the Confluence. Bill Cowher against John Gruden. Cordell Stewart. Is this John Stallworth 82? Could be, but it's Bobby Shaw for the touchdown. 7-0 Steelers. Now Stewart leaves with a calf problem. Kent Graham came in, and immediately the game changed. It's Willie Brown. No, it's Eric Allen. Touchdown. 10-7 80s. Third quarter. Cordell coming back. Here come the Steelers. Looking for his big tight end, Benny Cunningham. No, it's Mark Bruner. 6 yards into the end zone. 17-14 Steelers are looking to play Bruner.
Damn, did he fight his way in the end zone. Cordell Stewart, those of you who don't know, they called him Slash. This dude played running back, wide receiver, and quarterback. He did it in a few times when they had Neil O'Donnell. They would rotate him all over the damn field. Came out of Colorado, beat Michigan. Beat my Wolverines in a Hail Mary, too. I think in, 93, 94?
Well, I think the effort in this rivalry comes through. You see Scott Bruner here take this pass. He gets driven back to the 4-yard line, but he is determined to get in, and he does just that.
In the fourth quarter, it's Jefferson Street Joe Gillum. No, I mean it's Cordell Stewart. He sheds 1 tackle. 17-yard run. John Kolb with a big block. 21-17 Steelers. John Gruden looking like a thinned-down John Madden after an Oakland punt. Reagan, now, you know what? They got to find him like Romanowski. Spit in the face of Josh Miller. We don't like it. Come on. Cut it out. It is the Raiders and Steelers. Yeah. Can't have it. Can't have it.
I remember that. You guys remember, I think he spit and then was it J.J. Stokes? I think from the 49ers when he was on the Raiders when he did that. When we were spitting that dude's face. Damn. These two teams hate each other still to this day when these two teams match up.
Raiders driving. Rich Gannon to Tim Brown. And here come their 80s. The Polish left-footed larger version of George Blanda. Sebastian Janikowski, maybe not Blanda, misses the 44-yard field goal. He's missed 9 this year. It stays 21-20. Under 2 minutes to go. Jerome Bettis, Rocky Blar. No, it's a fumble! His first fumble in 379 carries. Their 80s, after 2 minutes warning, have the ball. Coaches looking on. Rich Gannon wearing the Stakes number 12, amazingly throwing right-handed to Tim Brown, 7 yards. Then it's Gannon He's looking to, come on, we got to stop the clock. Tick, 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 stop it. First down. Second down. Gannon looking to Morris Bradshaw. No, it's Randy Jordan. 9 yards. Janikowski getting ready on the sidelines. Would there be a chance for Blanda? 3rd and 1. Gannon's pass knocked down by Kimo von Oelhoffen, a latter-day version of Ernie Holmes. 4th and 1. Gannon to Pete Banaszak. It's John Ritchie. Incomplete. Now, wait a minute. Gannon says it said 3rd down on the sign. Gruden goes, you know what? I really do know it's 4th down. Now, let's see if the refs missed it. Did they miss it? Did they miss it? No, it's the Steelers' ball. And Bill Cowher's Steelers have evoked the memories and maybe the best game.
That was awesome, man. Doing the old NFL films music right there. Good stuff. Look at Rich Gannon, 273 and a touchdown. Cordell Stewart, 136, 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdown. Jerome Bettis, the bus, 24 carries, 128. Man, the old school coaches too. Bill Cowher, Gruden out there. God, can't believe this is 25 years ago.
The day all around for both teams, Tom. Steelers 21, the Raiders 20. The Raiders have lost only twice to Denver and now once to Pittsburgh, but that puts their home field march for the playoffs in jeopardy. Tough game.
And even though he threw from...
Look at my boy from Michigan, Tyrone Wheatley, 16 carries, 60 yards. Timmy Brown from Notre Dame, legend, absolute legend. 7 catches for 99 yards out there for the Raiders.
modest yards, I think this could be a very important game for Cordell Stewart. Winning a game, big rivalry like this, doing it in front of the home fans, this is something that they and his teammates will remember.
They looked much better when he was in, then went out, then came back in. A big win for the Steelers. When we return, kicks just keep getting harder to find, but for Al Del Greco, he finds himself. Giants, Skins in a must game for both. Two division leaders, the Tennessee Titans at the Philadelphia Eagles, and the vet was fired up. The Oilers were 0-6.
Jeff Fisher, holy shit, I recognize that mustache anywhere.
Lifetime against the Eagles, but Jeff Fisher's Titans had never played him. Could the franchise win it? Eddie George used to sell hot chocolate at the vet. Had a pretty good first quarter, but in the second quarter, Damon Moore stops him. George again gets nothing. That's Barry Gardner on the tackle. And watch Jeremiah Trotter, who's had a big year, break up the play in the middle. Titans settle for a short field goal by Al Del Greco, 3-3 second quarter. Steve McNair to Frank Wycheck. It's a fumble. Eagles have it. But wait a minute, what was the call?
This was very close. Could have been a big break for the Eagles. Wycheck, you see him get the ball, starts to tuck it away. Purely a judgment call by the official. Once that...
Damn, that looked like a fumble to me. Look at a young Andy Reid. This is before Andy Reid started throwing down some hamburgers and meatballs on his subs. Holy shit, Andy Reid. Damn. About 30 pounds lighter and about 25 years younger.
Whistle blows, though, play is over.
So the Titans have the ball on 3rd and 13, and look at the Irish quarterback, Steve McNair, against Donovan McNabb. And Irish eyes are smiling. It's a first down scramble for McNair. That sets up Al Del Greco, 42 yards, and this is right down the pipe. 6-3 Titans, 2 field goal for Del Greco. Eagles trail 12-6. It's all field goals. 4 field goals, Del Greco. 2 field goals for David Akers 5 minutes ago, and Donovan McNabb looks for the very tall and skinny Todd Pinkston. Todd, go! Just go! Here's why there was some confusion. Jeff Fisher wants it reviewed, Tom.
Well, you take a look at the front side of this play. You're going to see Pinkston get pushed out of bounds right there, or seemingly out of bounds. They would go back, review that play. They could not tell whether he stepped out of bounds or not. The play counted.
On the same drive.
Wow, they must not have had a lot of good camera angles back then, because to me, he clearly looked like his damn foot got out of bounds.
3rd and 3. Nay. Hey, Brown. He makes the catch from Donovan McNabb, the other Irish quarterback. First down. McNabb to Charles Johnson, down to the 1. So the Eagles down by 6. Here's the clock. Last few minutes. 1st and goal from the 2. Look at Donovan McNabb against the AFC champion Titans. Leads them right down the field. The kick is good. 13-12.
I remember Donovan McNabb when he was in college. It was the year after Michigan won the national championship. So it would have been, 98, I think, right? The summer of 98 when they opened up against Michigan, or Michigan's second game of the season. What the hell it was. Michigan played Syracuse, and Donovan McNabb just scorched Michigan. I mean, scorched their ass. I think Michigan got off to a horrible start that year. After they won the national championship, they start like 0-2. Everybody's calling for, Drew Henson to be the starter, because I think Brady ended up taking over the reins once they won the national championship with Greasy. But McNabb went to the big house and scorched Michigan.
Philly! Donovan's mom, family, thrilled. Why not? Each team is now punted, which gives Tennessee one more chance. Minute 43 to go. It's 1st and 15. McNair scrambling. What a season all over the field Derek Mason has had. Minute 11 to go on 3rd and 2. McNair to Chris Sanders. Stopping the clock. No timeouts do they have. Aldo Greco hoping for a chance. At the 45 on 3rd and 4, 19 seconds to go. Sanders makes the catch for McNair out of bounds at the 37th. Del Greco warming up, but he needs a few more yards. McNair to Wycheck to the 32. Al Del Greco comes out for a 50-yarder to win the game. You know the story. Week 11 against the Ravens. Extra point in this field goal, no good. Last week, with a chance to put his team up by 3 late at Jacksonville, 28-yarder, no good. They lose both those games. What's going through Del Greco's head? He's made 4 field goals, 2 of them over 40. Jeff Fisher, Del Greco, look on. 50-yard field goal, game on the line. The ball is up, it's on the way, it's good! It's good! Al Del Greco has never had 5 field goals in one game. Kicking problem, Tennessee, over. Tennessee with a huge win. Huge. Because they stay a game ahead of Baltimore. And if they each win out, Tennessee, Oakland's lost, Tennessee would win the division.
Man, I just love the NFL primetime music, don't we? We still haven't heard some of the really marquee songs out here yet. The Edison came out yet, and then there's one more. Can't do the sound effects for it, but trust me, we haven't heard it yet. It's coming up, but man, gotta love the NFL primetime music.
After the game, Tennessee wins the game with no touchdowns, but they'll take it.
I worked really hard on it this week and again in the game today, and because of the last 2 weeks, you just have to remember that you've been around a while and things like that happen as much as we don't want them to. But everything happens for a reason, and maybe it makes this today a little more special.
First things first on Al Del Greco. This is not someone that had like 3 good years and then
That's correct.
He missed a couple of key field goals. He's one of the best kickers for over a decade in the NFL. So I think whatever mental problem there might have been, can we pronounce that over, Tom?
Yes, it is over. I think, we know that Al Del Greco is an outstanding kicker. And when you look at the style of play, again, of the Tennessee Titans, it's about what you saw today. 32 carries for just over 100 yards for Eddie George. Steve McNair being poised in situations at the end of games to give them a chance to win. It's going to come down oftentimes to the field goal kicker. And I think that Jeff Fisher this week just very quietly said one thing to his kicker and got him to straighten things out. And I can't repeat exactly what it was on TV, but he's finally said something to him. Get yourself straightened out. Let's move on. He did.
Something to show about the consistency of the Titans. It's been almost 2 years since they've lost 2 games in a row. Now, that's unbelievable. So, again, they had a chance to lose it, but they did not. And Philly had a 4-game winning streak snapped, although they finished with the 2 Ohio teams, Cincy and Cleveland, with the bye in there.
That's
so they're
correct.
still in very good shape. However, with them losing, that made the Giants and the Redskins game even more intriguing, certainly for the New York Football Giants as we go to FedEx Field. And the Washington Redskins in a game they have to have after Jeff George. 1-2.
Brad Johnson, God, he put up a lot of good numbers when he was out there in Minnesota. Got replaced by Randall Cunningham. God, I forgot he was on the Redskins.
After Jeff George, 1-2 as a starter. Brad Johnson back in the saddle for Norv Turner. Stephen Davis playing with a cast on his arm. And he can catch the ball. Here's a screen for 13 yards. Setting up a 39-yard field goal attempt for Eddie, Eat, Drink, and B. Murray. You tell us if it was good. Oh! Putting the doink back into the field goal. No good. Second quarter. Kerry Collins. Play action. Nice block from Tiki. Hits Joe Juravicious. But look at Darryl Green. Still.
Oh, Joe, you're so vicious. Me and Phil used to do that. What's Joe Juravicious at? Joe Juravicious. Played for, obviously the Giants, played for the Green Bay Packers too at one point. I think he played for fucking Tampa Bay too. Joe, you're so vicious. Joe Juravicious out there from Kerry Collins, who played in Penn State. was with that Kojana Carter team that went undefeated. Holy shit, Joe Juravicious forgot his punk ass.
A speedster in his 40s, stripped the ball, Sean Barber, whoop! Amani Toomer, whoop! Sean Barber falls on it. Tommy, what about the play by Darryl Green?
Well, we had a play last week from Tampa Bay's Derek Brooks. He was the key player on both ends of the play. There, Juravicious runs over Darryl Green, gets the catch, gets another 20 yards downfield. Who catches up with him and knocks the ball out? It's Darryl Green again. I guess he hasn't slowed down in all those years of playing ball.
He has not. 2 first-half field goals by Brad Deloiso makes it 6-0 Giants. Emmanuel McDaniel hits Johnson. Sam Garnes with the pick sets up another field goal. Boy, the Giants defense playing exceptionally well. Probably their best game of the year. It's 9-0 G-Man. In the fourth quarter, Stephen Davis. Now, Tom, this looks pretty good for 12 yards.
Well, Stephen Davis right there running hard, getting that ball in his left hand. That was a good run for him.
12 yards, but he only had 29. And then Emmanuel McDaniel with the pick 2 plays later. So, you know what Norb is thinking. I hope it's not Khrushchev on the phone. Please. On comes Jeff George. Fans chanting, George in. Corner blitz, but James Thrash is there for George's bomb.
Jeff George, one of the greatest arms of all time, got drafted by the Colts, played for the Falcons, played for Minnesota. This dude could sling it. I'm talking pure arm strength, just throwing it 70, 80 yards downfield. Yeah, Jeff George could do that.
45 yards down to the 5. 3 plays later. Now you tell me, what is this, Broward County? They can't count. Is the play clock dead or what? Nobody sees it. And George hits Irving Fryer, knifing his way just over the goal line, 5 yards, and a red.
Holy shit, Irving Fryer played for the Miami Dolphins.
Skins are down now, 9-7. Amazing. Minute and a half to go after the Giants punt. The Skins driving. George, Thrash, down to the 19. Eddie Murray, hoping for a chance. But wait a minute. They're going to take a look, and this is an official review with the Peep Show.
Yeah, and this would have been a catch, in years past, but you can see as the tip of that ball is on the ground, Thrash tries to bring it back up. The referees took a look at that, called it incomplete.
So Jim Fossil says, way to go. 56 seconds to go, but it's a 49-yarder for Murray. This one looks long enough, high enough, it's short. It's short. Daniel Snyder can't look. Jim Fossil, the newest Newt Rockney in the NFL. He spoke up. His team has responded. The Giants have beaten the Eagles twice, and they've broken a 4-game losing streak to the Redskins, winning a game that they...
A big old Ron Dane, the running back from Wisconsin. Stephen Davis was a good running back, too. Only 12 carries, 29 yards in this game, though.
Played Washington almost throughout, 9-7. Afterwards, tale of 2 coaches.
I'm extremely proud of the effort and the positive energy that this team put out. We've taken a tremendous amount of pride in fighting our way right on down the wire here, and I'm proud of these guys. I mean, they gave me everything they had, and they kept believing. That was huge, and it's not over. This isn't the ending. This is just the beginning.
We struggled to execute some pretty basic things. Defensively, I thought we did an awful lot of good things. They kept us in the game, gave us a chance to be in the game at the end.
There's Norv Turner, offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, obviously head coach here for Washington. I think he got another head coaching gig somewhere. Was it with the Chargers? I think he was head coach of the Chargers, too, for a minute.
Obviously, we just didn't get it done. Any questions?
Do you think that you could be fired?
Pardon me?
Do you think that you could be fired this week?
You're asking the wrong guy that question.
Well, you hope that's certainly not going to happen until the end of the season. But the Redskins now at 7. Not that we look for it to happen at the end of the season either. 7-6 Washington, way on the outside looking in as the Giants are half up on the Eagles at 9-4. And I think that the die is cast in Washington. And to blame it on Eddie Murray, forget it. And the kicking, you get only 7 points at home in a game you have to have. It's attitude. Pathetic.
Well, looking at the bigger picture, I think expectations for this Washington Redskin team so high. Norv Turner went into it maybe with his back against the wall at the beginning of the year. But when you look at Jim Fossil and the Giants, they ran the ball today 36 times. They held on to the ball. And when you look at Washington not being able to run that ball, 29 total yards today, that was the key to this football game.
Jim, they had the Newt Rockney story with fight. Yeah. Jim Fossil story.
Yes. He's made all the right moves right now.
And the Giants a half up on the Eagles, who remember they swept anyway. When we return, the incomparable Jerry Rice keeps going. Colts got to have this game at the Jets. Will they get it? NFL Primetime continues with the incomparable Jerry Rice and the San Francisco 49ers. And what about...
Look at Jeff Garcia. Holy shit, what a throw. One's call him a rat. If it smells like a rat, looks like a rat. Jeff Garcia, coach, obviously here for the 49ers. Played for the Browns, played for the Lions. Is that all? I'm sure somebody else will find another team if I miss one, but no, he played for the Lions for damn sure. No, he played for the Browns. I think that was it. Oh, Tampa? You played for Tampa? I might play for Tampa for another game or two there.
24-7, 24 TDs, 7 interceptions only for Jeff Garcia. He's thrown for 3,000 yards. And here's a touchdown to Jerry Rice. What is it, 186 for his career? Total TDs. Niners lead at San Diego 17-7. Garcia, Rice, touchdown, 12 yards, 2-point conversion, San Francisco. I mean, they're way up. Right?
Sorry to pause it here again, guys, but God, I thought Jerry Rice was gone at this point. I thought he already was on the Raiders. This must have been a year or two after that. I guess it would make sense the more I'm thinking about it because with Gruden, God, that Ryan Leaf, holy shit. As I'm speaking, I look up and see Ryan Leaf on my goddamn monitor. Holy shit, Ryan Leaf, Washington State. We all know the problems he had going, number 2 in that draft with Peyton Manning going number 1. God. But anyways, where was I? Lost my train of thought seeing Ryan Leaf out there, but anyways, I completely forgot what I was saying. Ryan Leaf threw me. Oh, Jerry Rice. That's what it was. But, yeah, John Gruden being on the Raiders that we've seen earlier, that's obviously before he took over the reins of Tampa and won a Super Bowl. And Jerry Rice with that Oakland team, man, he was putting up some good numbers, too, on Oakland, Jerry Rice, once he left the 49ers.
Ryan Leaf had led the Chargers to a win last week. He played well the week before in Denver. Today, no. And then came Bronson, Zach Bronson, with the pick from Leaf. Now, late. I know Leaf's trying to make something happen with just under 2 minutes to go, but it's the full Monty. Monty Montgomery could go all the way. 46 yards, 45-17. Leaf. It's Bronson again. Ryan Leaf picked off 4 times by San Francisco. Jeff Garcia threw for 323 yards. He now has 2 TD passes, makes it 26-7. The Niners have won 3 in a row along with a bye week. They're playing like they care for Steve Mariucci. They haven't lost.
Steve Mariucci, look at Terrell Owens, 4 catches, 93 yards, 1 in 12 Chargers. Pretty sure they took LaDainian Tomlinson, right? They had to. They had to be who they took with this top pick, going 1 and 12.
Since the first week of November.
Well, and obviously a tribute to Coach Mooch and his working with young kids, his ability to bring them along.
And he may have some players on that defense after all with all those draft picks. Meanwhile, the suddenly rejuvenated Jacksonville Jaguars, remember they ran the table to make it 9-7 in 1996 and actually get in the playoffs? Spurgeon Wynn making his first NFL start for Cleveland. Against the blitz, Wynn hit, throws, pass incomplete, Wynn in pain. 2 Jags hit him, knee buckle, sprain MCL, but he does return. You make your first NFL start.
You have to come back.
Holy shit, he came back after that. That looked really fucking bad. That's incredible.
But when he came back, he was seeing too much of this. Fred Taylor, 6 straight 100-yard games. Could he make it 7? 22 yards, sets up a field goal.
Freddie Taylor, good running back out there. Went to Florida, too, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think Fred Taylor went to Florida, the running back for Jacksonville Jaguars. They had another good one, too. James Stewart, I think he came out of Tennessee. Played for the Lions. I actually went to a Lions game where James Stewart, I think he had close to like 200 rushing yards against the Bears. This must have been 2002, 2003. Anyways, he had 200 rushing yards, and I'm thinking, like, how the fuck? Like, it just didn't seem like he had 200 rushing yards. He had like 40 attempts. He's averaging like 3 or 4 yards per carry. Yeah, you got 200 yards, but I think you have 4 yards per carry to get there. But yeah, Fred Taylor, one of the best to ever do it, at least for Jacksonville. They had another good running back, Ramesh Jones Jr., remember him? I think he had almost 2,000 yards rushing at one point, too. Jacksonville. Good running backs that they've had over the years.
He had 111 in the first half.
Sorry, got through another one in there. Natron means.
That answers that question. Mark Brunell, hit, incomplete. He winces. He stays in. Later in the same drive, Brunell to Keenan McCardell. Touchdown. 20-0 Jaguars at the half. Tommy, A couple of weeks ago, Fred Taylor had a 200-yard game.
Well, when the Jags are rolling, it's all about Fred Taylor getting behind Tony Baselli and making things happen. There you see him take the nice handoff.
I know they mentioned Keenan McCardell, the wide receiver for Jacksonville. Who was the other one they had? They had two of them. Two really good wide receivers on that team. Keenan McCardell, and I can't remember the other one. They had two of them. Trust me, they did. I can't remember who the fuck the other one was, but I know they had two really good wide receivers.
Off tackle and move, and look at the move right there. Inside, outside, back inside for the score. So he can run inside, outside. He can do it out in field. He can do it in short yardage down around the goal line.
3 touchdowns for Fred Taylor to the chagrin of Chris Palmer. I mean, they were 2-1, and Couch got hurt. Forget about it. Here's Jacksonville at 6-7 playing lowly Arizona next. And Jacksonville trying to make a season of it. Taylor ends up with 181 yards.
There's a couple names here. Kevin Johnson, he went to Syracuse. Pretty sure he did. He's a top wide receiver. They said, I think him and Tim Couch. Was it the same draft, or maybe it was the next year that they picked up Kevin Johnson? Kyle Brady, he was a pretty good receiver at the tight end position. Got drafted by the Jets, right? I think he played for the Jets. I believe he was out of Penn State as well. Kevin Hardy, name sounds very familiar. I know Kevin Hardy as far as the school he played for. Couldn't tell you. I feel like he played for another team too, Tennessee maybe. But man, Jamal White, God, all these old school names just popping up here is ridiculous on this.
He returned the AFC East, mano a mano. Dolphins at the Bills where they always lose, and the Colts always beat the Jets. So certainly both of those things would happen again, right? The AFC East, Miami has lost 5 of the last 6 in Buffalo. Jay Fiedler back in the saddle for the Dolphins.
Beautiful day out here today.
You'd expect nothing less from a young man from
Dartmouth.
And he's back, and so is Lamar Smith. The Bills are playing with 5 different starters on defense than they began the year. Lamar Smith, 22 yards on the opening play from scrimmage. Jay Fiedler to Lamar Smith. It's a touchdown. 7-0 the Dolphins. Fiedler to Arondé Gadsden midway. Oh, what a grab for 24 yards.
Yeah, people talk about his lack of speed, doesn't run great routes. All he does is make catches like this when you really need him, and he does it on a consistent basis, Chris.
It's Tavares Tillman, one of the new starters for free safety Keon Carpenter. Lamar Smith stopped short of the end zone, but Miami gets a break. False start call before the play, so instead of 3rd and goal, then they held him to kick a field goal, 3rd and goal from the 6. It's Fiedler to Gadsden, touchdown. 14-0 Miami in Buffalo? In Buffalo? Where are the wagons? Well, here they are in the person of Jason Taylor. Rob Johnson sacked 6 times, 3 by Taylor.
Yeah, I remember Rob Johnson played for Jacksonville too, right?
And then later on, Johnson trying to make something happen, picked off on the wobbler by Sam Madison, who dollies his way around the Bills. Look at him trying to make something happen. Juking, jiving, inside the 10, outside the 10, back to the 11. Johnson 6 for 18, 44 yards, 2 picks. Tommy, here's the play.
Well, Sam Madison outside has the coverage on Peerless Price. You see him get his head back into the backfield where he can see.
God, Peerless Price out of Tennessee won a championship with T. Martin. Holy shit, Peerless Price. He put up big numbers when they got Drew Bledsoe. And then Eric Moulds? Eric Moulds, another good wide receiver they had.
What the quarterback's doing, comes off to Eric Moulds, does a great job of making a pick.
And the fans want Flutie. It's 24-0 at the half, but it's too late. He got in. It was 30-0. And you never... Wait a minute. This is 11 minutes to go in the game. Flutie let him do a touchdown. He was also picked in a major victory. We'll talk about this in a moment. Miami not only comes up to Buffalo and ekes one out, they stomp on the Buffalo Bills to maintain their lead in the AFC East, 33-6, 12 sacks against Johnson in the 2 wins by Miami over Buffalo. Meanwhile, the Jets started.
This is the damn song right here. This is NFL Primetime. As soon as you hear this song, oh yeah, you know what's going down. They always save this music, or this song, I should say, for the best game of the week. The NFL Primetime, this is what it's all about. It's the music in this song particularly.
One back of Miami. Colts began 2 back of Miami. Peyton Manning. Colts beating the Jets 4 straight times. Vinny Testaverde pitched to Curtis, my favorite, Martin. Nothing fuzzy about this run. Martin breaking tackles. Look at him go. 36 yards. It's 7-0 Jets. And now Vinny pumps and looks for Dedrick Ward, who does a beautiful job keeping his feet in the end zone.
Yeah, Dedrick Ward here, if you look, you just see a guy do a great job of tapping the feet down at the back of the end zone. His quarterback's looking for him to do that.
Another pitch to Martin, a cutback time, and look at him go. 54 yards all the way down to the Colts' 24-yard line. Curtis Martin running like, well, the man he is, one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah, and take a look at the blocking that he's going to get from Wayne Cribrett and Kevin Mawai. He does a great job also with his vision. I think that when you see Curtis Martin, you can see his head moving. He sees everything going on around him, so he gets that extra 20 yards just purely through his vision.
That leads to a field goal, 17-0 Jets. Minute to go in the half, and Peyton Manning picked off by Victor Green. And the Jets, rather than just run it out, well, why not? Look at him go. Twisting, turning, returns it to the Jets 43, sets up another John Hall field goal, 20-0, Jets at the half. Manning play action third quarter to Marvin Harrison, so it's 20-10. Fourth quarter, Vinny Testaverde. Usually he didn't wake up until the fourth quarter. Now he's stumbling in the fourth quarter, picked off by David Macklin. Returns it to the 47-yard line. Third play of the ensuing drive. Wait a minute. Do we have a ball game? Peyton. Play action to James. Looking for Terrence Wilkins. Oh, that's pretty. 43 yards. 20-17. Jets lead is down to 3. 5 minutes ago, the Colts had the ball at their own 20, but it's a fumble, and Johnny on the spot is Brian Cox. Al Groh's Jets have broken through against the Colts.
The center here, Jeff Saturday, is going to lose the ball. He never actually gets it to Manning. One of my favorite players, Brian Cox, jumps on it for the recovery.
Martin, 1-yard run with Soltz. 27-17 to the chagrin of Jim Mora. Last chance for Indianapolis. Nick Ferguson is there for the Jets. So the Jets, the one team they never beat, are the Colts. Even when the Colts were horrible. And this time they maybe put the nail in the Colts' playoff hopes. The Jets win 27-17. Apparently in the weight room in midweek on Thursday, Curtis Martin.
Damn, Vinny Testaverde. Holy shit, that's a dude who bounced around all over the league. Vinny Testaverde. Damn.
Saw Bill Parcells. Parcells says, hey, get it going. I would say he got it going.
Another name on here, two guys. Edgerrin James. Damn, was he a good running back out of Miami.
203 yards for Curtis Martin. So, Tommy, on a day when we're supposed to see the four teams perhaps get together in the AFC East, it's pretty clear. Indianapolis and Buffalo are at 7-6, whereas Miami 10-3 and the Jets 9-4. And there's a 2-game separation for those teams going into the playoffs, running the ball. And what has happened to the Colts, who were 13-3 last night?
Well, I think you hit on one of the keys. We always talk about this time of year running the football and playing defense. And when you look at the couple of teams that look like they're going to make it to the playoffs now, it's the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. Dolphins with an outstanding defense. I think the Jets have a good quality defense, good character, quarterbacks playing well. Curtis Martin running the football, Lamar Smith running the football. That's separating this division.
And Miami is portable. They can bring that running game and defense on the road.
Yes.
And Marv Levy once told me depth is a great thing on a football team until you have to use it. Buffalo had to use their depth on defense, and the wagon were circling over Niagara Falls, unfortunately, when last time seen. When we return, Game Balls. We'll be back.
All right, that's it. Good stuff there, man. Got to do some more of these and some baseball tonight. NFL Primetime, December 3rd, 2000. That was fun. Let's do some baseball tonight, too, maybe hopefully later on this week, but that was fun. Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. See ya.